Hello, this is iPav, a Teemo player. I will talk about the Teemo's build in 9.6 patch. I currently have 3 different accounts in the Master 0 LP due to that rank reset that happened in 9.6. So the reason why I have 3 different accounts that I'm currently keep rotating around is that I get target banned. So whenever I get target banned on Teemo, get on different account, target banned on Teemo, and get on a different account, so on. I'll post my 3 different accounts that I use in a challenger or master right now in the description, so you can check that out. So Teemo's items first. I currently, about 8 out of 10 games, start with the cloth armor or boots or dagger depending on the matches. Cloth armor versus AD bruisers like Rune, Jax, Aery, even against an Aatrox. Boots versus like a Singed, Darius, Garen, those type of stuff that I can just kite it with boots, or even against an Ornn sometimes. Dagger versus a tankers, like a Sion Ornn, depending on what type of jungler that they have. If they have an aggressive jungler, I take the boots against those. But if they don't have an aggressive jungler, I get a dagger against the tankers, and I just push my lane when I want to. Dagger Star provides me more of a lane control, easier lane control. I always start with the 4 potions with those because they are all worth 300 gold each. And rarely I start with the Doran's Ring or Dark Seal. Rarely, yeah. But for those of you guys who are new to the Teemo, I just recommend Doran's Ring first item start because this is the easiest way to last hit the minions. The boots choice, Sorc shoes, sorcery shoes if I'm fed. If you don't know what to build on Teemo, then just go with the Sorc shoes. Ninja Tabai versus 80 bruisers like Riven, Jax, Jace top stuff. Mercury Treads against like a Rise or a Cannon, crowd controls champions going against those. Safety boots against like a Singed. It's okay versus Sion too, but Singed, Olaf, and Nasus, those 3 champions, I always get a safety boots. These are the build orders pretty much. Liandry first, Nashor second, Boysap third, and so on. It's depending on the situation. I sometimes go with the Nashor suit first if the game goes really well, but about 90% of the times I think I start with the Liandry. Yep, because game doesn't really go that snowbally often. And at the end, I sell my boots for the death cap, and I also get a blue elixir at the end too. So that's the build path for my Teemo. Pretty much every single game. Season 9, Teemo's item builds hasn't been changed at all. Some people ask me about the Gunblade. I don't think Gunblade is that great on Teemo. Yeah, I can use it. It works in like Diamond and below. But as a tier gets higher and higher, like a Challenger, I think Gunblade's not that great. It provides me the sustain and some damage, but it doesn't give me enough of like a tankiness or even like... It just lacks. Yeah, it just lacks. Now the most important part in this video is probably the runes. I currently use 4 different runes: Summonery, Electrocute, Grass Undying, Phase Rush for the top lane, and Dark Harvest for the jungle Teemo. Let's go with the Summonery first. But before I get into that, I just want you to notice that I have Domination tree on every single rune pages. This one, Electrocute here, that, and that. The red one, red color is the Domination rune. Domination rune, I always take the Ghost Portal and Revenant Hunter. Ghost Portal provides me the free vision for the bush. Quite oftentimes I get camped in the challenger tier, so I need more visions with the Ghost Portal. In the lower tier, you could probably just go with the chip shot for more damage if you want, but in the high tier, I have to have more vision to counter their play. Revenant Hunter are necessary because I don't take the Gunblade once again, so I need to sustain through this. Summonery does the most damage for the Teemo. If you don't want to like go in depth on a Teemo, you just want to play Teemo once in a while, always go with the Summonery. Yep, this is the best for the Teemo. Mana Flow Bend, Celery D, or Absolute Focus depending on how you like. Gathering Storm or Scorch depending on how you like. I go with the Scorch only against the Pantheon, and I go with the Absolute Focus only against Pantheon too. Just because Pantheon is all about the laning phase. As long as I win, or not, as long as I don't lose a lane, then I can do better than Pantheon can. And attack speed and adaptive force, I keep it same every single games. Only the bottom row I get to change it depending on what type of enemy champion does the damage. Magic damage, then magic resistances. AD damage, then armor. Then, and if they don't deal that much damage like a tankers, I go with HP. I usually use this rune against the tankers like Ornn top, Sion top, Shen top, Maokai top stuff. Also, I use it versus like easy matches like a Lawi match or Gangplank, Vladimir match. Those are quite easy for me for the lane, so I go with the Summon Aery. And the next rune is the Electrocute. Now this one is not an easy match, like Riven, Jax, Jace, Araria, Aatrox. Those champions have such a high burst damage because they have a gap closer to gap onto Teemo and land a lot of burst damage. I need the bone plating for that sustaining their damage. It's not just for the 1v1 either, it's usually 1v2. It's usually that in high tier, challenger tier, the way that when the Riven engages on Teemo, then their jungler always follows up with it. So I have to always taking a backing away position as they're engaging onto me and noticing that, oh, where is their jungler gonna come from? This Riven just jump onto me, and where is jungler gonna come from? Either coming from behind or front, or like Nocturnal or Evelynn from side. You know, that I always have to worry about that and always taking the backing away position instead of just trying to kill them. So that's why bone plating is necessary. A more passive playstyle is required as I'm playing this champion in the higher tier. In the lower tiers, it's not that necessary, I guess. So I just suggest the Summon Aery with the Domination Tree all the times for the lower tier, but yeah. If you just want to play Teemo more perfectly, then I suggest this rune. And Electrocute Taste Blood, this one allows Teemo to deal good damage and Taste of Blood or Chip Shot depending on how you like. Yep, and these don't change. Ghost Spore, Revenant Hunter is still there. And the next, Grass of Undying. This one, the condition to proc it is quite similar to the Summon Aery, just one auto tech. And it also provides me the bone plating, so tankiness. It provides me the demolish too. It's really good if you are facing like a champion that roams a lot. Yeah, like let's say I think a Rumble, yeah, Rumble match, he roams quite often, so I take with the second wind against that. And also the lane phase is very difficult against Rumble, so Grass Undying. I also take this versus a Gangplank or Vladimir stuff sometimes, because if they have a like Kha'Zix, Evelynn, Pantheon, those type of assassin type of junglers, then having a bone plating against them is good too. Unfortunately, Teemo cannot just worry about the lane match. I think Teemo has to also worry about what type of jungler that they have to counter that. Because in my opinion, Teemo is about delaying their top and jungler snowball by getting camped. You soak up 2 players' damages onto top, which allows your team 4 people to go against the other 3 people. Your own jungler is not gonna help the Teemo top too much because Teemo doesn't have a good jungle setup. Like Teemo is not gonna crowd control the enemy, right? So it's I think the way that I play is that I let my jungler to play on the other sides while I'm soaking up the 2 people's damage. If their jungler is not ganking me, then I'm just gonna, you know, make their top laner suffer. That's pretty much how I play the Teemo. Yep. So that's the Grass Undying right there. To counter mostly jungler with the bone plating. You could also say why not just go with the Electrocute instead, but against a Vladimir or Gangplank, you cannot pop the Electrocute. Yeah. Because Gangplank and Vladimir, the way that they trade is land 1 Q and back out. So as they're landing 1 Q and backing out, you cannot land the auto Q auto. You can only land like 1 auto with the Q, or Q auto at the maximum. and only Grass Undying or Summonary can be procced. But Summonary, we cannot grab the Resolve tree, the Bone Plating, because we need Domination. Therefore, we go with the Grass Undying plus Domination, just in order to be able to proc that Grass Undying with the 1 auto attack. Yep. So once again, Summonary and Grass Undying, kind of similar matches. Electrocute in different match. Yep. Phase Rush, now the last one for the top lane. This one I go versus Nasus or Olaf. Yep, against the Nasus or Olaf, they kind of tend to permanently slow down the Teemo. So we take the Phase Rush to counter that slow. 75% reducement on a slow. So condition to proc the Phase Rush is exactly the same as Electrocute. Some people may not like it because it's not providing any extra damages like Summonary, Grass Undying, or Electrocute does. But it allows me to be safe. Usually, Olaf jungler comes around top to gank for him too. Nasus, as soon as he withers me, his jungler comes around top to gank the Teemo. There's actually a video, Teemo versus Nasus match. You guys can check that out. I get camped quite often, but I don't die from the jungle gank due to having a Phase Rush. I reduce their slow. I also get a safety boots with this. So safety boots slows slow resistance 25%. With this 75%. Added, it's 100%. So I don't get slowed at all. So that's how I counter those. And lastly, this is a jungle Teemo, Dark Harvest. I go with the attack speeds because for the jungle clear to be faster. And Dark Harvest can be procced easily, probably the easiest as a jungle role. Out of top, mid, bottom, jungle, I think the jungle is the easiest role to have the Dark Harvest stacked. For Teemo, the same way. Yep. So I go with this rune, similar to the Electrocute, but I take the chip shot instead of Taste of Blood. That's for sure, because Taste of Blood doesn't get to be that useful as I'm clearing the jungle camp. So that's it. Those are the 5 different runes that I use for the Teemo. And items, I already went over that. Lastly, summoner spells, right? Summoner spells, I take the Ghost versus pretty much all the champions on the top that have a good jungle gank setup, like Maokai Snare, Ornn Ultimate, Sion, or Riven, crowd control, Aurelia crowd control, Jace crowd control. I take the Ghost to kite them and run away from the jungle gank. Or I also take the teleport against like matches that I cannot win, like a Pantheon match in the early game. No matter what, Pantheon's gonna win. So I base and then teleport back to top. And I have not used it yet, but I'm gonna use a teleport against the Victor and Nico top, because against those two I cannot win the matches either. Yeah. Some people may say, hey, when I faced the Nico top, blah blah blah, I went this and won. When I faced the Victor top. But I'm talking about the highest tier victors, like a pro player's victors. It's different. They play way better than like diamonds. Like I've won against the diamonds too. I've won against Diamond Victor, Diamond Nikos, but I don't really count those. I only count like a pro player's victors, pro player's Nico stuff, and I have not won against them with like Ignite or Ghost or any types of builds. I know that Witsend can go even, at least go even against them, but that does not do enough. Witsend is just really bad on Teemo, I think, in general. It's only good if you can snowball with it, but that's like kind of flipping the coin, and I don't like the flip coin type of build. Or flip coin type of playstyle, I just don't recommend it. Yeah. And lastly, Ignite. I get it versus a champion that doesn't have a good jungle gank setup. So Vladimir top or Gangplank top, they don't have a good jungle gank setup. So I take the Ignite to just snowball off from them or just try to deny them as much as possible. Because if the top laner does not have a good gank setup, enemy jungler doesn't tend to gank the top much either. Obviously, right? So I take the Ignite to go against them. Yep. And that's about it. That's how I use Ignite, Ghost, and Teleport. But for in general, people that are below Master, people that like if your game you don't get camped too much, if you feel like the Ignite's good, then just go with Ignite. I think most of Teemo players do like the Ignite. and it's useful. It's really good. But it just a high tier. If you've been watching my videos, I get camped so much. So yeah, I take the ghost quite often. So that's it. That's my builds and how I play the game. And yep, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.